Hello and welcome. You're watching Newsx with me, Devika Devan. The brutal lynching of Dipu Chandra in Bangladesh has sent shockwaves across India and the world. He was falsely accused of blasphemy. The Hindu youth and garment factory worker was beaten to death by a mob in Bangladesh. His body was then later set on fire. An inhumane, cold-blooded murder that has triggered widespread outrage. Bangladesh has said that the perpetrators will be brought to justice and multiple arrests have been made. India, meanwhile, has labelled this killing a horrendous act and has called for accountability. The External Affairs Ministry says it is closely monitoring the situation and has urged Dhaka to ensure justice to protect minorities. The reaction in India has been sharp and visible. From Delhi to Kolkata, Bhopal to Mumbai, protests have erupted with demonstrators demanding accountability and action. Several protesters were detained as they tried to march towards diplomatic enclaves. For many, this is not being seen as an isolated incident, but as a test of accountability, governance, and the safety of minorities. Diplomatic assurances have been given, but now all eyes are on the action on the ground. All eyes, in fact, are on one man only, and his name is Muhammad Yunus. Nikhil Chandwani, author and influencer, with me on the broadcast is also Mithun Vijay Kumar. We have Taira Hassan with us as well, and Shramshravi Shrain will be joining us shortly. Let me begin with Mithun Vijay Kumar. Mithun Vijay Kumar, right before this, and I'll urge all our viewers to go online and watch it as soon as we put it out in the next few minutes. We just did an entire segment, Mithun, explaining why Dipu Chandra Das's murder was in fact premeditated and there was no sudden outrage as is being claimed by the Bangladesh authorities. There is so much evidence now on the ground, Mithun, about what's happening in Bangladesh. We don't expect, unfortunately, any international bodies or even any countries to intervene in this. So given that we're now on our own as far as dealing with Bangladesh is concerned, what does one do? How does one go about that?
See, Devika, while we are talking about the brutal murder of Dipu Chandra, we must understand that this is a much larger and a more dangerous issue. And what happened to Dipu is not just an isolated crime. Like you said, it was a premeditated murder. It's a sign of a massive wave of terror that is going to, hit Bangladesh, or it has already hit Bangladesh. And this young man was not just killed, he was, betrayed by his own factory managers, his own factory supervisors. They forced him to resign and then handed him over to a bloodthirsty mob. And just think about the mindset of those, 150, 160 people who had surrounded him. They were cheering and, recording videos while they broke a young man's bones and burned him alive while he was still breathing. There are reports about it. They even hung his body on a highway as a trophy. So this is the exact same brand of terror that we saw in Syria and in those Islamic State camps. And if we only look at this incident as one death, we are missing the truth, is what I would say. Many more people like Dipu Das will be targeted, killed, and burnt if we do not recognize this for what it is. And this is not a local fight or something. It is the birth of a radical mindset right on our border that celebrates the extermination of Hindu community. And this is terror. If this is not terror, then what is terror? And the murder of Dipu Chandra has not just been felt in Bangladesh. It has set the entire Indian subcontinent on fire. And today we are seeing the streets of Delhi, Kolkata, and Jammu filled with people who can no longer stay silent. And it is a clear message from the people of Bharat to the unconstitutional regime of Muhammad Yunus that we are watching you. You cannot just exterminate our brothers and sisters and expect us to do business as usual. Every drop of Hindu blood spilled in Bangladesh is being accounted for by the people of India today, Devika. And the numbers actually tell a terrifying story of this, systematic wiping out of Hindus. And since this interim government took over, the Bangladesh Hindu, Buddhist, Christian Unity Council has recorded over, 2,400 incidents of violence against minorities. Think about that number. That is not just statistics. It's like, it's 2,400 families living in terror. This isn't happening in one or two villages. It is spread like a wildfire across 49 out of 64 districts of Bangladesh. And let's look at the sheer scale of destruction. More than 150 temples and places of worship have been smashed, looted, or set on fire. In the Khulna division alone, nearly 300 Hindu homes and businesses were destroyed in just 15 days. And we are seeing a total collapse of safety. And it's not just buildings; it's a war on people. In April this year, a respected Hindu leader, I think his name is Babesh Roy, he was kidnapped from his home and beaten to death in broad daylight. This message, I mean, the message is very clear from the Bangladeshi regime. And to the Hindu community, the message is that, if you pray, your temple will be burnt. If you lead, you will be killed. And there is also economic war, designed to drive out Hindus. We are seeing, what I call institutional jihad. And since, the past few months, there have been a wave of forced resignations across institutions. Hundreds of Hindu teachers and professors were surrounded by mobs and forced to sign resignation letters at gunpoint. Just imagine being a teacher who served for 20 to 30 years in government schools, only to be dragged out of your classroom and told that you don't belong to the new Bangladesh. And at the same time, we are seeing land grabbing through arson. Hundreds of Hindu families watch their houses and businesses burned to the ground. Their land is being grabbed by local radical groups. They are even attacking the Hindu history and identity. They have destroyed hundreds of sculptures and monuments, including the 200-year-old Venus statue. So this is like complete terror in the region, and I think it's time that India takes a position and acts against it, Devika.
Okay, all right. Let me also then bring in Nikhil Chandwani into the conversation. Nikhil Chandwani, when we talk about acting, now what options do we have as far as this brutal murder is concerned? Because like I said, there is now enough evidence out there, video evidence and very graphic, unfortunate evidence online that shows that this was a premeditated murder and Dipu Chandra Das was targeted for his religion. And Nikhil Chandwani, the fact that this act is being justified in the name of blasphemy, that some people think that they will claim that he made some blasphemous remarks, so it's justified, is what shows the true mentality of the mob in Bangladesh today, which has been running amok ever since Mohammad Yunus came to power. So what do we do? How do we protect the minorities of Bangladesh?
Ma'am, I say enough is enough. To the Bangladeshi jihadists who tied an innocent Hindu man to a tree and burned him alive, listen carefully. You are predators, you are terrorists, you are lynch mobs with God as a weapon. You didn't just kill a man, you sent a message, submit or burn, and the world heard it. The world, sadly, it chose to stay silent. Where is the United Nations now? Where are the emergency meetings? Where are the sanctions, condemnation, moral outrage? I can't see it anywhere. A Hindu man is burnt alive and suddenly the world preaches for peace is on aeroplane mode. Every global leader who stayed quiet today has blood in his hands. Every institution that lectures India but ignores Bangladesh has exposed itself as morally bankrupt. And let me be brutally clear, this was not mob violence, this was not local unrest, this is jihad by intimidation. This is religious terrorism we are seeing right in front of our eyes. It is being executed slowly, publicly and proudly, and it was uploaded on social media for celebration. And yet Hindus, all of us, are expected to stay calm, stay secular, stay silent. No, silence has cost us homes, silence has cost us daughters. History has taught us one thing, that silence of Hindus has always cost us lives. So yes, it's time for Hindus to unite. It's time to raise the flag again. We have to fight back and not get slaughtered politely. UN has abandoned us. The government, our government, all the governments around the world, they are issuing concerns instead of taking any necessary action. Human rights, they are counting bodies selectively, and we have learned this hard truth right now. Hindus have nobody backing us. So back yourself, organize, document, expose and fight. And to the Bangladeshi jihadists watching this, you mistake Hindu restraint for weakness, you mistake our patience for fear. History has always shown us what happens when Hindus stop absorbing blows and start standing together. And to the world leaders, I have an appeal to make. You cannot preach tolerance. You asked a very beautiful question. What are the options that we have? Our options is to expose all the leaders who are silent right now. Everybody is tolerating the burning of that innocent man. Nobody is condemning extremism. They are trying to protect Islamist violence with silence, and we are silent spectators to what's happening. So we need to change, we need to adapt, we need to organize, and we need to fight back because sadly, nobody cares about Hindus anywhere in the world.
Okay, all right. Let me bring in Tahira Hassan into the conversation as well. Tahira Hassan, in your perspective, what are the options, ma'am, before India? Tahira Hassan, you'll have to unmute yourself, please.
Okay.
Yes, go ahead.
No, you know that this lynching of the innocent man is a assault on the humanity, and it violates very principle of dignity and justice. That is the gist of the humanity. You know, for that the civilized society stands for that. That is violated here. And the lynching where it happens in any part of the world must be condemned in the strong word. But I believe that earlier the person was talking, the panelist, he said that it is Islamic jihad. What kind of jihad it is? You are killing an innocent man. It is not a cowardness. Brutally you are committing a crime against the humanity. It can't be Islam. It's not a part of Islam. Whatever happened, genocide happened in Palestine. There the Muslims were killed. Thousands and thousands children were killed. So what is this killing? This is a mentally sick people, you know, they commit this kind of crime and they must be punished in every part of the world. The voice must be raised against it. We all must condemn it in the strong words.
Okay.
Because no society can be called a civilized society if there is so much hatred, so much intolerance that one community is killing to another community member.
Okay, so I want to bring in, yes, I'll come to you, Nikhil, in 1 second. I want to bring in Shamshavish Rain here. Shamshavish, I want to understand from you, when we talk about hatred, intolerance, can we all at least agree that the basis of that is religious?
Yes, of course. In intolerance, this kind of a violence, this hate, everything is related to people are making it a point that religion is very important part and humanity stands nowhere. That has become a biggest problem nowadays. People need to understand that it's the humanity that should be considered as the priority number one. Religion will come afterwards. Be it Hindu, Muslim, Sikh, Isai. Problem is that everyone have started thinking that we Hindu, we Muslim, we Sikh, we are the priority and leave any other thing. When you are born, it is seen that whether a human is born or an animal is born. So the humanity comes first. Unfortunately, everyone in the name of religion has started making, if they want to kill someone, they will bring religion into the picture. That is the easiest way nowadays to kill anyone.
Okay, but Shamshavish Rain, where?
Sorry?
When you're saying that nowadays everyone brings in religion to kill, where?
Be it you talk about Israel, you talk about Bangladesh, you talk about anything that is happening here in India in the name of religion, that wrong happens, be it Pakistan, they have been doing it.
But
be it Afghanistan.
Shamshavish Rain, okay, Afghanistan, Pakistan, yes, Israel, religious as well. Are we really saying that what's happening in Bangladesh is actually also happening in India?
Not the same thing. Of course not. I'm not saying that. But I'm saying then people are murdering people in the name of religion, which is wrong.
But
how could anyone kill anyone? And that too this brutal.
no, but I want to
They are mentally
understand.
sick.
I want
They
to
are mentally
understand.
sick people.
I want to understand if the root cause is religion, and I'm sure all of us sitting here, learned, educated people sitting with me on the panel, also understand the world very well and understand its nuances very well. If the root cause is religion, what is the counter then? What does one do?
One has to make that point clear that no religion comes above law, no religion comes above any humanity, and the land laws will always be prioritized, irrespective of your religion. If you are killing someone, leave what he has done. That is none of our business. If he has done something wrong, the court will take actions against him. No one has a right to do lynching, kill someone in name of anything. It's the law who has a proper law. Every country has laws. They will do it as per law. If someone has done something wrong, if someone has murdered someone, if someone has spoken something
Yes,
wrong about
yes.
any
Yes.
religion, it's the court who will take the action, not the humans who are standing here and saying, "Arey, isne to aisa kiya." It's a brutally maar rahe. How could anyone do such kind of an act? It's just when you see such kind of a video, we have goosebumps.
Yes,
Imagine
but
the kids,
but the
generation who are
But the
seeing
problem
it.
here is that in Bangladesh, the police was involved as well. It's very clear from the videos that have emerged that the Bangladesh police could have saved Dipu Das if they wanted to, but because there were rumors of blasphemy against him, they decided to hand him over to a mob. It is this mob mentality which is rooted in religious belief and religious thought that needs to be called out. And it seems that we're often shying away from just having very honest conversations about this, because it somehow just makes everyone very uncomfortable to just accept the hard truth. Nikhil Chandwani, you wanted to make a point.
No,
Yes,
if the police is involved in this matter, of course the government of Bangladesh should take stern action against these policemen as well. The law, if you leave law in the hands of the common people, it will create problem.
Yes, but
So
the,
if
unfortunately
police
for
are
us, the government of
involved, or
Bangladesh is
whoever
also in the
involved.
hands of radicals right now. Nikhil Chandwani,
Exactly.
you wanted to make a point.
Yeah, ma'am, the government in Bangladesh and the government in Pakistan, it is a joke. The law is a joke over there. Kanglo, the Bangladesh, it has a cult whose followers admit they want to kill you, but they say you have a phobia if you don't want to be killed. This is happening in Bangladesh and Pakistan. They all want to kill minorities over there. The minorities, the partition was imposed on those minorities. Partition उनसे पूछ के नहीं हुआ था. It was imposed on them. Their visas were not approved. Passports were not issued since 1947 till 2014. They were unable to migrate to India. And 1947 का जो problem है वो आज भी सारे Hindus, Sikhs, Christians face कर रहे हैं बांग्लादेश में. They are facing it in Pakistan, and law is a joke. When you talk about humanity, how can we preach humanity when they want to kill us? They want to burn us. If there is a lawless land like Bangladesh, if there's a lawless land like Pakistan, there's no humanity left over there. It's maro ya maro. We have to fight. And we have to take it to the finish, because if we don't, we are seeing the sad end of the world's oldest surviving civilization in Bengal, East Bengal, Bangladesh and Pakistan. सिंध से ही इंडस वैली सिविलाइजेशन की अगर बात करते हो तो वहां से ही आया है पूरा जो सनातन है, पूरा जो इंडिया है 6000 साल 8000 साल से. एंड नाउ राइट नाउ यू आर सीइंग 3 से 5 लड़के एवरीडे कन्वर्ट हो रही है, किडनैप हो रही है, दे आर गेटिंग रेप्ड. Law, it's lawless. Pakistani police, the Bangladeshi police.
I would strongly oppose to it. I would say that the girls are being from any religion, they are being kidnapped. It's not especially Hindu. Please don't make wrong statement over here. Please don't make such kind of statement here. Girls
I'm talking about Pakistan. I am talking about
religion.
I'm not talking about India. I'm talking about Pakistan and Bangladesh. This is a religious fight. It's not about humanity.
I'm talking about everyone. Be
not talking about India.
Be it Muslim.
Yes,
Hindus
maybe somewhere that is the problem, right? That the moment something happens in the name of religion or it happens in the name of Islam, we start saying, let's talk about everyone. Nobody should do it. Obviously, everybody knows that nobody should do it. We know that nobody should do it, but how do we call it out? It's so uncomfortable in India now to even call it out, to say anything.
By talking about humanity, humanity, and by actually talking about that,
Yes, this happens.
You
It's
can't talk about
Yes, but I'm
humanity.
asking you very honestly, what is the root cause? What is the root cause of this radical
is the
thought?
mental illness. Root cause is the mental illness that everyone keeps on saying कि नहीं 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 हमारा हिंदू हमारा मुस्लिम. Hinduism also talks about humanity. Islam also talks about humanity. ये जो लोग हैं जो mentally पागल हैं उन लोगों को जेल में डाला जाए. They are mentally ill who are actually killing everyone in the name of religion.
Okay, but
Laws को
Mithun
turn
Vijay
होना
Kumar,
होगा.
Mithun Vijay Kumar, so many mentally ill people. Mithun Vijay Kumar, is it time then to make more jails across the world for all these mentally ill people?
Devika, I would first request the other panelists to, not interrupt when others are speaking. I think Nikhil had very valid points. He's someone who actually works in the area of, rehabilitation of Hindus who have come from Pakistan, I believe. So at least allow him to finish his point, because he has some clear metrics about how many Hindus would have been converted there, or how many women are actually facing this threat in Pakistan. So you didn't even allow him to complete that point. I would like to ask that panelist, can she tell at least one, woman from Islam who has been converted or forcefully converted by Hindu extremists in this country, at least one name? I can count at least 5 to 6 names in Kerala itself. So let's not, turn a blind eye towards what is happening and say that, everyone has to preach humanity, everyone has to teach humanity. That's not the issue that we are seeing here. And there was one more panelist who was trying to say that, it's just a brutal murder. Let's not call it jihad. So I want to, make people understand that, let's not close our eyes to the reality that there were 150 people who were not shouting slogans of humanity. They were shouting the slogans of jihad. And when a mob uses a fabricated blasphemy charge to burn a man alive, they're not being inhuman. They are acting on a radicalized doctrine. They believe they are doing a divine duty. This is exactly how groups like Islamic State and Al-Qaeda operate. They take a religious concept and turn it into a license to kill. If we call it, just inhuman behavior, we are ignoring the motive. Why was Dipu Das targeted? Because he was a Hindu. Why was the crowd incited? Because of a fake religious insult. And when you kill someone because of their religion, while, shouting religious war cries, you have moved from crime into jihadist terror. And that's what we are calling out. Now, the most important question that we should be asking is, who is allowing this to happen? Because, someone was saying that the law of the land should be followed. Who is sitting in the seat of power while the streets of Bangladesh turn into a graveyard for Hindus? It is Muhammad Yunus. And, we see him as a Nobel Prize winner. We see him as a man of economics. But let's be brutally honest, at least in this debate, a Nobel Prize does not give anyone the ability to run a country of, 170 million people. This is a man who spent his life in air-conditioned offices and international seminars. He can't run a, jute mill, forget running a country itself. Governance, according to him, is giving speeches in the Western media. It's not about the rule of the land. And under Muhammad Yunus, we have seen that the rule of the law has been murdered. He sits in an unconstitutional position. He was not elected by the people. Let us understand that. So saying that, the law of the land has not been implemented, or the law of the land should be implemented, doesn't come into picture itself. He was brought in through a vacuum, and he has used that vacuum to empower the most dangerous elements in the society. So look at his record over the last few months. He has presided over, what can be only described as a state-sponsored breakdown. He has unbanned groups like Jamaat-e-Islami. It's an organization with a history of violence and terror. And in 1971, they were actually supporting Pakistan, not even Bangladesh. So he was, he has allowed convicts to walk out of prison doors. And he has even placed people with extremist ideologies into his own cabinet. So when you put radicals in charge of government, how can you, act surprised when a man is burnt alive? And even more shocking is the behavior of the security forces that we were discussing. In this, in these incidents after incidents, including the lynching of Dipu Chandra, the police and army have been conspicuously inactive. They stand there and watch. They are spectators to the murder. Why? Because they know that the interim government will not protect them if they act against the mob. So Muhammad Yunus has turned a sovereign nation into a playground for street gangs. He claims to be a reformer, but the only thing he has reformed is the speed at which the country is collapsing. So when media offices are being burned, when journalists are being forced to hide on rooftops to save their lives, and when the country's head, offers only apologies, And then you're not looking at a leader. You're looking at a man who has handed over the sovereignty of his nation to the mob, and the international community needs to wake up. This is not some transition to democracy that we are going to see in Feb after the elections. This is a creation of terror hub. A man who cannot or will not confront the people burning his own citizens is not a chief advisor. He is a commander of chaos, and we must stop treating him like a man of peace and start treating him like the head of a failed, radicalized state that is threatening the peace of the entire Indian subcontinent, Devika. And we also need to understand that this instability in Bangladesh is a golden opportunity for foreign powers to interfere. And when a country like this becomes, when there is a security vacuum like this, there are agencies and there are governments who will, start intervening. They will spot the opportunity to...
Mithun Vijaykumar, the unfortunate reality, although, of Bangladesh today is that foreign powers seem to have already started interfering. Foreign powers have been interfering since last year.
Yes, there are multiple reports that ISI has re-established a formal presence in Dhaka, and they are actually operating under diplomatic cover, and Yunus government is giving them a red carpet, and they have removed security clearances for Pakistani nationals, and physical inspection of many of the shipments has been removed. So this is a direct invitation for arms traffic and narcotics smuggling right into our border, and by turning Bangladesh into a satellite for their strategic decisions, Pakistan can actually recreate a hostile West and a radicalized East. So there's a big threat that we as a country would be facing if this continues in Bangladesh.
Absolutely. And the fact that it serves nobody to turn a blind eye really to what's happening in Bangladesh, because it's not, ladies and gentlemen, a humanitarian crisis that's happening in Bangladesh. As some of the panelists have pointed out, this is a premeditated attempt to change the course of Bangladesh. Imagine the moment this country comes back in touch with Pakistan, comes back in touch with the Pakistan-China nexus, you start witnessing on the streets complete anarchy and mobs running amok in the name of religion. That's the reality of Bangladesh today. If we don't wake up and figure out what to do, we will have once again another Pakistan to deal with on our east. With that, I submit to a very short break. Thank you to all our panelists.